Want to apologize for not being there in person. I think I was part of the pioneering event. I think it was 10 years ago, and I want to commend the convener for consistency and just keep doing it. The event coincided. I'm currently in Watson Business School, and so on. I'm learning the venture capital, and so it's been a great time. I'm happy I'm able to connect with you guys virtually. The conversation is on faith and business, aligning Christian values with professional excellence. I think that this is a very, very good topic, and I'm excited that we're treating it, because sometimes we say some Christians think that Christianity is synonymous to mediocrity. My argument has been that because you're a Christian, it's more reason why this should be done better, bigger. We should see a more sophisticated organization because you're Christian, because you have access to other tools, you have access to divine tools, you have access to supernatural tools that gives you an extra layer of help. I'll give you an example. One of our core businesses, again, I recently exited GTEX Holdings, and we now have a new chairman. And I have a new company I run now, which is a private equity and venture capital firm. Goal is to invest in businesses and help these businesses scale. The same way we started with just $10, so 18 years ago. And we're now in 4 continents, the initial business. So the new business is to say what we did with GTEX, let's see if we can do with other businesses. But in the course of running GTEX, I've had to, be involved in buying lands, land acquisition. And many times we buy land, and the next thing they go put charm on the land. They put charm, they put all manner. Okay? But you see, that for me is not a discouraging factor from buying such a land, because I have a superior charm. You see my point? And that's the benefit of when you mix your faith with your professional life, because what's other people running with from, you run towards it. Now, the charm example can be equated to what? Goliath. The attached military of Israel was running away from Goliath. They were scared. This is Goliath. Run away from. But what did David do? David ran towards Goliath. So when we understand our superior positioning, our supernatural position as Christians who have superior tools in the marketplace, then we have an unusual audacity. Everyone shout audacity. Okay? You enter the marketplace with certain level of certainty and confidence to say, these Goliaths will kill it. You run business in a way that what everybody is running away from, you run towards it with a certainty you're going to win. Now, having said that, it's important to know that our place as Christians, our tools as Christians, and all the supernatural elements to be the son of God, a child of God, a daughter of God, does not mean there will not be crisis. It doesn't mean you won't be tested. It doesn't mean you won't face problems. It doesn't mean your integrity won't be tested. And I want to bring this, emphasize on this, because I've seen Christians just not get it. I'll give you an example. Joseph in the Bible, and by the way, many of my conversation will be like that. If you want me to start quoting scriptures, you may not get that, but I'm already quoting scriptures, okay? Which is also another tool that many of us in the marketplace need to learn. You need to start quoting scriptures without looking like you've quoted scriptures. But the person still knows you're talking the word of God. Okay? So you must be able to speak Christianity in the marketplace without necessarily speaking Christianity. Well, you know what I'm talking about. I've seen this, many of the most successful speakers that you see out there are born again Christians, but you never know until I got close to many of them. I realized they are actually born again Christians, but they've been able to, communicate, and they broke boundaries. They went beyond, they were able to be relevant beyond the four walls of the church. How many of you know that John Maxwell used to pastor one of the big churches in Atlanta, right? But the same John Maxwell today, nobody knows he's a Christian, because he then moved from pastorate to consulting, leadership consulting, and now he's been able to consult for many organizations outside the four walls of the church. And that's also another conversation maybe for another day. But let's look at Joseph. Joseph was a man of integrity, yes. But what happened to his integrity? He went to prison accused of lacking integrity. Because there's no bigger way of losing integrity that's trying to rape your boss wife. Like, who does that? We saw Daniel running into Lion's den for having integrity. Okay? For having integrity. And Christians always forget this. And this is why we Christians haven't supported each other well. Because our assumption, even though it's there in the scriptures, is that because I have integrity, the world will agree that I have integrity, and so I will not run into trouble. No. You are in an hostile environment. You have to bring the kingdom into a hostile environment. So bring in the same values that you stand for, it's the same value that will be attacked. Okay, we saw this again with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And we can go on and on and on and on, showing you different Christians who have integrity, and they ran into trouble for allegedly not having integrity. So, and this will happen in the course of your experience in the marketplace, where the same thing you stand for is the same thing that will be attacked. And you can run for years and years of struggle, and sometimes you're asking yourself, one of the people I have the utmost respect for in this industries, Mr. Awashika. Big respect for her. And I've asked her in one of our conferences, I think last year, I said, so, anyway, first woman to be chairperson of Roosevelt. And then wrote you, claiming, that you abuse the system and all manner of allegations. And I remember reading a write-up. I just know, I'm a business guy, so I know when something's fishy. I just know that this is not right. Something is wrong. This is everybody that knew that this person was just bullied or fake. And this is not what she stands for. But when the whole central bank of the country, it was, those are law, that's the regulators, they removed. And I remember asking her this question. So why did you open up? Because you know that the reason you're dealing with was that the CBN governor had compromised and wanted you to keep your MD, who also is doing rubbish. So for saying we're not going to renew the term of an MD who is not running First Bank well, then they decided to now remove you and accuse you of the same thing you've accused the MD for. Right? Now, you spent years not able to explain to anybody, this is what happened. And she said something powerful. She said First Bank was behind 5 other banks. So she comes out and says, hey, the MD of First Bank is playing games, so that's why I decided to remove him. And for choosing to remove him, even though the CBN said I should not remove him, they decided to remove him. I'm being persecuted. So if I say that, 5 other banks would, not just First Bank. And then she has the character, anybody that will learn it, the character to keep quiet. Till we all know what happened to the same CBN chair. I mean, we all know the story now. I mean, God so intervened that she didn't need to tell us anything for us to know that, hey, this is what's going on. Are we learning here? And I'm saying it is to somebody who probably has been attacked for their integrity, who probably has had demotion because they had integrity, whose business had collapsed because they have integrity, or lost a sale. I was sharing with somebody how I had an opportunity many years ago, 2008, 18 years ago. 18 years ago, I had a 350 million naira deal with a telecom company in this country. And they said, and I got an approval from the founder and so many people, one more signature. That signature said, pay me 2 million naira bribe. Okay. I had 2 other partners. At some point, partners, if you don't have 2 million, let's divide it 2 million. We'll raise the rest. And somebody would say, don't pay anything. We'll raise the other 2 million and pay. And I still said, no, it's against my faith. And so I lost what you can call my breakthrough. Well, today, what is 350 million in my life? What is it? It's just one of those transactions. So I want to encourage us to know that today your integrity may be affected for having integrity. Okay? It sounds weird. I stand up for what is right. I stand up for God. I stand up for the scriptures. And what happened to me is that I'm being dragged here and there. The encouragement is that you will not just come out, but you will come out better, bigger. Your reputation will even be bigger. And that's what has happened in the case of the Sawashika, who now has a much bigger platform. Can even force back today. Somebody shout hallelujah. I thought I'm going to hear the hallelujah. I didn't hear it loud. So if you're going to balance your faith and the marketplace, you must know that integrity must come over profit. Integrity over profit. Honest sales and fair dealings. Yeah. Will you be appreciated for it? No. In many cases, you won't be. People, you will show integrity, and yet nobody will appreciate you for integrity. But they will tell you are mad. But still have it. Because remember, you're not even doing it for man. You're doing it because of your relationship with your maker. Walk actively, right? As worship. This is one area as well that many Christians fail. You say you're a Christian, I can see the dedication as a worker in your church. I can see your dedication, when we're doing concerts in church, when we're doing conference in church. When I come to where you work, hypocrisy, like they say, no get party. You are casual. There's no excellence to your work. You're cheating your employer. You close before work hours. You are using your company's internet to do side hustle. That's stealing. Okay? So the proof that you're a Christian is not just in speaking in tongues. It's not just in being a committed worker. It's that we must see excellence in your workplace. You can't be in the company and the company is going down and the company is not profitable and you say you're a Christian. You can't be a Christian that way. You can't say you're a Christian, okay, and you are not having growth where you are. It says, wherever the sole of my foot shall step, is for me a possession. When I walk in a place, it's my company, so I'm going to run it like that. He says he will bless the works of my hand. The works of my hand is this job. I may be an intern. I may even be working for free. Okay? But I'm going to run it like this is the work of my hands. And once I am successful and faithful in this, then something bigger will come. The more doors will open. I just, jump on a call. A lady decided to volunteer to do something things for our company. And I was just on a call with my wife, and I said, oh, this person is doing this for one of our companies. And I said, oh, my friend was an oil and gas business, needs these sales services, and that one is willing to pay oil and gas. Guess what? Immediately I put her on the call. I said, well, what you did for me for free, you are about to get what? The reward in abundance. So you see how it works. Well, imagine, because she was volunteering for that business, she handled it like, after I'm just doing them a favor. That was a big deal. Any big deal. Right? I'm just doing them a favor. Lift up for crayfish that then would I even be doing such a favor? But because she ran it, she handled it, she was working with deadlines, she was passionate about it, and it's about to pay off. So, you must handle your work, heartily, as a worship unto God. You must see your business, your career, same way you see that time where you, and by the way, God bless all our other speakers. I just saw Minister Ibe. Listen, I'm doing like Minister Ibe is bursting in worship and you're just worshiping God. Your work is your worship. The marketplace, your own business is your worship. It's your worship center. Listen, your evangelism ground is your boardroom. Your department at work, that is your stage to preach the gospel. Not by, hey, see you, born again Christian. Yeah, we're going to heaven, you're going to hell. No. Let the excellence you bring to bear and be what makes you to say, I want to worship your God. I want to connect with you. Something powerful happened with Daniel. Daniel served more than 3 kings. Daniel in the Bible. Daniel. Everybody can do that Daniel. Not because he was speaking in tongues, not because they don't like him as a Christian, but his Christianity so distinguished him that everybody knew there is another spirit at work in Daniel. There's something unique. There's something different about this guy. This is what we should be talking about. Generosity and stewardship, servant leadership, understanding in Matthew 23:39 that love your neighbor as yourself, and that leadership is love, leadership is service, leadership is sacrifice. Leviticus 13 verse 19 verse 13 shows us about the place of your in Malachi chapter 3 verse 10, we saw the place of generosity, the place of honor and service, and seeing that I am a steward. The business I own is not mine, it's God's. The money I make is not mine, it's God's. And I'm just a steward. If money rules you, if money controls you, I doubt if you're born again Christian. Right? Because money is only a tool. We're just a servant. We're just privileged stewards. We're just privileged keepers of the resources that God has given to us. Have you been blessed? If you are blessed, shout another hallelujah. So, as we begin to wrap up, why integrate faith? Right? Why do we integrate faith? Why must we do that? Okay. The payoff that we see when you integrate faith with your workplace, with your marketplace, is that we see, if you own a business, higher loyalty. Okay? Higher loyalty. Now, if you're an employee, over time, there will be a king that will recognize your worth and your value in their company over time. Now, in some cases, it's only somebody else that recognize that and will call you and say, join our team. Right? Greater customer trust. Over time, when built a business, our real estate business I just exited, has 95% of our clients not knowing us. They've never met us, they've never been to our office, they've never even seen a land they got buying except virtually, even though that at some point became an issue because also people get worried, the Like, I've never seen these people before, but I give them my money. Right? So, but it pays off that the trust level is stronger. Long-term resilience, right? Long-term resilience. Because you also, one of the things that our faith teaches us is patience and resilience. And so you become one of those people that your staying power is your winning power, right? So you can be there for longer than many other people. And that eventually has its benefits. Eternal impact. Okay, business as a ministry and as a mission. I tell people every day, my business is my ministry. I don't see my companies as, is separate. So my company is here, my ministry is here. I don't see such. I think it's about wrong. Your business should be your ministry should be your business. And so whatever it is that you call business should be a ministry. Whatever it is you think is ministry should be a business. Jesus said, I must be about my Father's business. That was his ministry, but he called it a business. So why are you not calling it a business? Personal fulfillment. So something deeper, some deep joy, some deep excitement. That really, I'm back. Right? I mean, one of the reasons why I decided to exit our business, in 18 years, I've not put out profit from our company. Well, I've continued to run the business for joy, with excitement, because it wasn't about money. It was that it's a ministry. It's like this opportunity to employ people, this opportunity to transform lives, this opportunity to change lives. That is the joy. Okay, so 5 actionable steps that you can take tomorrow. 1, define your non-negotiables. As a Christian, what are my non-negotiable in the marketplace? Number 2, start meeting with prayers. Okay? As many meetings as you can. Lead prayers in them as long as you can. Again, different organizations differs, right? But if you are privileged to own your company, for example, we do devotion every morning in our company because I'm the founder. Yeah, so don't go and start fighting people in a company and say, we must lead prayer. Dr. Silly said, we must lead prayer. That's what I'm saying. If your power, your authority allows it, please do that. Practically, all these decisions, ask consistently, does this honor God? Does this decision honor God? Again, like I said, there will be that certain decisions you will have to make that will position you to look as if you lack integrity and like we are breaking the same rules. Because we are not of this world, but we're in this world. And so even your good will still be converted to evil at some point. But you know who you are. You know why you're doing it. And you know the deeper meanings. And you know that you have consistently tried to honor God with your decisions. Commit to some of your profits to kingdom projects. Build a caring team. Okay? I remember one of our former employees shared with me was a CSO. And he said to me, I worked with the Nigerian police for 35 years. The Nigerian police has a private jet. But I never even saw it physically, talking about entering one. He said, I just joined the organization in 1 week. You don't even have a private jet, or you had an opportunity to fly in private jet, and you invited us to be in the private jet with you. Well, we don't. It wasn't like we planned it, but you wanted to show that you care. You wanted to show that if this company is doing well, you too will do well. Those are godly virtues that you must, and these are because you are a child of God. And so these things become your own priority. Okay. So I hope we've gotten some value. I want him to finish my slide, but I want to wrap up with this. Colossians chapter 3 verse 23 says, whatever you do, work at it with all your heart as working for the Lord, not for human masters. I want us to know that faith plus business, you can honor God while you're doing and thriving your empire. But you must always see everything you're doing as doing it unto God. Because if you see it as doing it unto man, you will find yourself discouraged. You see a situation where your good is turned to evil, and then you'll be discouraged from being good, right? Because you just be like, I've done everything right, and see how they've twisted it. But because I wasn't doing it for man in the first place, I was doing it for God. So, hey, I'm at peace. I'm excited. I'm not going to stop doing good because I wasn't doing the good for man to start with. I was doing the good for God. I'm seeing it as a mission, as a service unto my Maker. Well, I hope you got some value. I love you all. Thank you. I'm willing to take one or two questions as I have 5 minutes more. God bless you.